As autumn 2025 unfolded, the world watched as the leaves turned from green to vibrant shades of red, orange, and yellow. It was a picturesque scene, but behind the beauty, meteorologists were hard at work. Meteorologists watched the Pacific Ocean with keen interest, analyzing every detail for clues about the coming winter. They scrutinized ocean currents and temperature anomalies, trying to predict what the season would bring. The early outlook suggested a neutral ENSO phase, which typically means a lack of strong climate drivers, hinting at unpredictable weather for North America. This neutral phase often leads to a mix of weather patterns, making it difficult to forecast with high confidence. But new data has upended that forecast. Suddenly the models began to show something different. A weak La Niña is now developing. This shift is significant, as it changes the entire dynamic of the upcoming winter. This new development forces a complete overhaul of winter expectations across the United States, altering weather patterns dramatically. Even a weak La Niña can reshape global weather, influencing everything from rainfall to temperature extremes. Cooling Pacific waters and redirecting the jet stream, La Niña sets off a cascade of atmospheric changes. Suddenly, the temperature and moisture trends we saw in fall make sense. La Niña is the missing piece that explains these anomalies. La Niña is the missing piece, fitting perfectly into the puzzle of our climate models. This pattern typically brings colder, stormier conditions to the northern U.S., with increased snowfall and more frequent blizzards. Meanwhile, the south trends warmer and drier, experiencing milder winters with less precipitation. The confidence in this new forecast grows daily as more data confirms the cooling trend in the Pacific. As Pacific cooling becomes more evident, the models become more reliable, allowing for better preparation. For everyone from city planners to families, this means the winter you expected is not the one you'll get. Preparations must be adjusted accordingly. This unexpected shift could lead to surprises like snow in regions unaccustomed to it, or milder conditions where harsh winters are the norm. The Pacific's subtle cooling is about to set off a chain reaction, influencing weather patterns far beyond its shores. Shaping a winter of sharp regional contrasts and surprises, La Niña ensures that this season will be anything but typical. To truly understand this winter's forecast, we first need to explore the powerful influence of La Niña, a climate phenomenon that can shape entire seasons. La Niña is more than just a buzzword, it's a recurring pattern that has far-reaching effects on weather across the globe, especially during the winter months in North America. During a La Niña event, the trade winds that blow across the Pacific Ocean become even stronger than usual. These intensified winds push warm surface waters westward, away from the coast of South America. As a result, colder, nutrient-rich water wells up from the deep ocean, cooling the surface along the South American coastline. This shift in ocean temperatures is the spark that sets off a chain reaction in the atmosphere. The cooling of the eastern Pacific triggers the development of high-pressure systems over the central and eastern parts of the ocean. This in turn causes the jet stream, a fast-moving river of air high above our heads, to shift its usual path. The jet stream acts like a steering wheel for storms and cold air, so even a small change can have big consequences. For North America, this means the jet stream becomes wavier and more unpredictable. Storms are funneled toward the Pacific Northwest and the northern United States, bringing with them increased precipitation and the potential for heavy snow. Meanwhile, cold Arctic air is allowed to plunge much farther south than usual, sometimes reaching deep into the heart of the continent. The end result is a winter that's split in two. The northern states experience wetter, colder conditions, while the southern tier often sees warmer and drier weather. This contrast can be dramatic, with some regions bracing for blizzards and others enjoying mild, sunny days. Even when La Niña is weak, it still provides meteorologists with valuable clues. Compared to a neutral phase, when the Pacific is neither unusually warm nor cold, La Niña tilts the odds towards certain weather patterns. This makes it easier to predict which areas are likely to see more snow, rain, or drought. For example, the Midwest can expect colder temperatures and more frequent snowfalls, while the Southwest is likely to remain dry, with less chance of winter storms. These regional differences are a direct result of La Niña's influence on the jet stream and atmospheric circulation. The classic La Niña setup is the key to predicting everything from sudden temperature swings to the likelihood of major snowstorms. By understanding this pattern, forecasters can offer more accurate outlooks for the months ahead. While the effects of a weak La Niña may not be as extreme as those of a strong event, the atmospheric tilt it creates is unmistakable. It sets the stage for the winter's overall character, even if individual storms still hold surprises. Think of this as a roadmap for the winter ahead, a guide that helps us anticipate what's coming, from temperature trends to the risk of disruptive weather. By understanding how La Niña shapes the atmosphere, we unlock the details of what's to come, giving us a clearer picture of the season and helping us prepare for whatever winter may bring. This winter, the United States is caught in a dramatic temperature tug-of-war, with the nation split between extremes. From coast to coast, the weather story is anything but uniform, and the reasons behind this divide are as fascinating as they are impactful. The main driver? La Niña's powerful influence on the jet stream, which acts like a high-speed river of air, steering storms and shaping temperature patterns across the continent. This year the jet stream is dipping and weaving in unusual ways, setting the stage for a winter of contrasts. Out west, especially in California, Nevada, Utah, and Arizona, a stubborn high-pressure ridge is locking in above normal warmth. Expect more sunny days, fewer storms, and a winter that feels more like an extended autumn. For many, this means outdoor activities can continue, but it also raises concerns about drought and water shortages, as precipitation remains scarce. Farther north, in states like Washington and Montana, the story shifts. Here, the jet stream brings more clouds and frequent storms, keeping temperatures closer to average. Residents can expect a mix of rain, snow, and overcast skies with occasional breaks of sunshine. The weather will be unpredictable, swinging between mild spells and sudden wintry blasts. Meanwhile, the central and eastern U.S. is bracing for a much colder than average winter. Arctic air will be funneled southward into the northern plains, upper Midwest, and Great Lakes, bringing biting winds and frequent snowfalls. These regions are in for a true taste of winter, with temperatures plunging well below freezing for extended periods. For those living here, expect prolonged cold snaps, icy mornings, and more days where bundling up is a must. The persistent chill will impact daily routines, from commuting to outdoor plans, and could even affect energy bills as heating demand rises. In contrast, the southeast will be shielded by a protective southeast ridge. This feature keeps temperatures near or even slightly above average, offering a milder winter with more comfortable days. Residents in places like Georgia and Florida can look forward to green grass, lighter jackets, and fewer cold snaps than their northern neighbors. All of this sets up a sharp temperature gradient across the country, a true battle line where warm and cold air collide. This zone will be a hotspot for active weather, including storms, heavy precipitation, and rapid temperature swings. Ultimately, where you live will make all the difference in your winter experience. Whether you're basking in sunshine, bracing against Arctic winds, or watching the weather change by the hour, this season promises to be one of the most dynamic in recent memory. The heartland is set for a relentless cold spell this winter. The northern plains through the Great Lakes will be under a deep trough channeling Arctic air south. Expect frequent, prolonged cold snaps and an above-average number of sub-zero days, especially in the upper Midwest. A polar vortex disruption is possible, sending lobes of frigid air deep into the U.S. The cold will reach into the Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast, bringing significant outbreaks. Millions will need to keep winter gear handy for much of the season. This winter's precipitation map tells two stories. The southern U.S., especially California, Nevada, Arizona, and the southeast, will be drier than average, with the storm track shunted north. Drought concerns will worsen in these regions, impacting agriculture and water supplies. In contrast, the northern half of the country will be stormy and wet. The Pacific Northwest, Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast are in line for above-average precipitation. The jet stream will act as a conveyor belt, delivering frequent storms across the north. The Midwest and northern plains will see the most pronounced wet pattern. Moisture from the Pacific and Gulf of Mexico will fuel these systems. Expect a steady parade of clouds and storms for millions. The La Niña pattern is driving this sharp north-south split. With cold air and an active storm track, much of the U.S. is primed for significant snowfall. Above-average snow is likely from the Pacific Northwest through the northern Rockies, Plains, Midwest, Ohio Valley, and Northeast. The interior Northeast, Great Lakes, and Northern Plains are especially favored for heavy snow. Even parts of the Southeast could see rare snow events if cold air and storms align. Meanwhile, the Southwest faces a bleak snow outlook, threatening water supplies and the ski industry. The Sierra Nevada and Southern Rockies may see well below average snowpack. This winter, the snow haves and have-nots will be sharply defined. The La Niña pattern draws a clear line between them. This La Niña winter sets the stage for dramatic regional events. The Great Lakes, with record warm water, are primed for explosive lake-effect snow as Arctic air sweeps in. Snowbelt communities in New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Michigan should brace for intense, prolonged snow events. On the East Coast, the jet stream favors major winter storms, including nor'easters. While fewer nor'easters are typical in La Niña years, some of the most powerful have occurred during these patterns. The Mid-Atlantic to New England corridor is on alert for at least one blockbuster storm. The Appalachians could see heavy snow as moisture is forced up the terrain. Cities like D.C., Philadelphia, New York, and Boston should monitor this threat closely. Two factors will define this winter: the polar vortex and the battle zone. The polar vortex could weaken or split, sending waves of extreme Arctic air south. These outbreaks drive the deepest cold, especially in the upper Midwest and Great Lakes. The winter battle zone, where Arctic and southern air clash, will set up over the Central Plains, Ohio Valley, and Mid-Atlantic. This zone will see the messiest weather-heavy snow, rain, sleet, and dangerous freezing rain. A few degrees difference can mean snow, rain, or ice. Freezing rain is a major threat, causing power outages and hazardous travel. Residents in this volatile zone must stay alert for rapid changes. This winter forecast has real-world impacts for millions. In the north and central U.S., expect higher heating bills and increased energy demand. Frequent storms and snow will disrupt travel. Cities must prep for busy snow removal, and drivers should plan for delays. The battle zone's messy mix will create hazardous roads. In the south and southwest, drought will worsen, threatening water supplies and agriculture. The lack of snowpack will hit ski resorts and water resources hard. Preparation is key. Service heating systems, stock up on supplies, and stay informed. This La Niña winter will bring sharp contrasts and high-impact events. Being ready is the best defense.